Welcome back to the Voices of Women Summit, where in honor of International Women's Day 2023, we are raising the voices of hundreds of women so that their messages can be heard. Your host for this session is Jan Famari. Jan is a business consultant, trainer, and coach. She is the founder of Prosper Mind Wellness and creator of the Prosper Consciously show, scheduled to launch next month. She is another amazing guest coming right up. Take it away, Jan.
Thank you so much. It's true, I do. I have an amazing guest here with us right now with a big mission, big vision. Her name is Alexi Bracey, and she's going to give a talk called Cancer Saved My Life. More than 20 years ago, cancer saved Alexi's life with the knowledge she gained through research, coupled with a positive mindset and changes to her lifestyle habits without any medical intervention, drugs, or surgery. Alexi was cancer-free a year later. So with that, I'd like to bring to the stage Alexi Bracey. Such an amazing story. It's an honor to have you here with us today. Thank you for being here.
Well, it's a pleasure to share and to be on the same platform with some of these amazing, amazing women. So I'm very grateful.
Grateful. Amazing. Yes. So we've got people joining us here from London, and we're so glad you can be here to hear this talk today. Alexi has a lot to share. Alexi, can you tell us a little bit about your story and how cancer saved your life? This is indicative of something that you had no medical intervention, drugs, or surgery. How does that happen? Usually we hear about.
Well, I don't know. I just when I got that phone call, so just imagine for a minute, the phone rings, you're expecting the doctor to call you, and the voice at the other end says, you have cancer, we want to book you for your surgery. Like, dead silence. Like, what do you say? And so I just quietly said, thank you. And as I hung up the receiver, I still remember vividly, there was a little voice in me that said, you're going to beat it. But I had no idea because I knew nothing about diet or health or cancer. Like, I just knew nothing. Well, this is more than 20 years ago, where the availability of the internet is not what it is today. So I spent 3 months at bookstores and libraries doing research. And so I adopted 3 things that really I focused on. I changed my diet. I focused on forgiveness. I got rid of toxins, that I put on my skin and washed my clothes with, etc. And it just opened it just opened so many doors, because I was a lab tech before that, so I could read blood results. So I had a bit of an insight already. Unfortunately, just let me share some statistics. A newborn umbilical cord today contains more than 300 toxins. We douse ourselves with 200 chemicals every day in our toiletries, our cleaning products, the clothes we wear, the food we eat. And the number 1 cause of death for children under 16 today is leukemia or brain cancer. They're both cancers. But unfortunately, people are treating cancer as a disease, and it's not a disease, it's a symptom. It's a symptom that something is amiss in your body, be it the mental, emotional, physical symptoms, but something's not right. And the key factor is toxins. The toxins come in so many sizes, shapes, I guess you could say. We eat toxic food. We eat toxins with our eyes. What do you see on media, newspapers, books, advertising? A lot of negativity. We eat toxins with our ears. Same thing, what do you hear? The music, the movies, the TV reports. What did you hear when you were a child or when you're growing up, your parents arguing, or they were calling you, you're good for nothing. These are toxins that remain within ourselves. You know, we eat toxins with our senses, with our nose, you know, the chemicals that are supposed to make us smell better, or clothes smell better, or a floor smell better. They're toxic and we're inhaling them. You know, for example, there's an antiseptic that was diluted and used as a floor cleaner in hospitals. It was later used to treat HIV in hospital setting, and later was remarketed, and we use it today. What is that? Listerine. So, you know, we have to learn how to identify what is in what we put on us, in us, around us, because there's just so many toxins. And, you know, there's just so many ways that get into us. And, you know, there's certain things you can do. I mean, you know, in my programs that I have with my clients, it's baby steps, but you have to take action. That's the bottom line. You just can't sit around and hope that, you know, take baby steps. So I think the easiest is plastics, because we're bombarded with plastics.
Yes.
You know, it may say BPA free, but there's all sorts of different BPs that are in the plastic. If you drop your plastic dish, cup, whatever, if it bounces, it has BPA in it or BP in it. If it shatters, then it's probably a little safer, but it's too late now because it's shattered. When we go and get our favorite coffee in the mornings, the plastic lids on the coffee cup leach phthalates, again, toxins. When we have a smoothie, it comes in a plastic container with a plastic straw. So, you know, put our food into plastic containers all the time. We do it, but it should go into a glass container. So just a little thing is just to start be aware of plastics for starters, you know.
So is there no safe plastic?
Not really, no. No, there
Oh,
isn't. You know, plastic is a convenience,
amazing.
you know. So, you know,
Right.
just a small thing that you can start really paying attention to and share it with your loved ones, you know, or with somebody in the coffee shop. Say, did you know, by the way, that, you know, don't drink your coffee with the lid on it, because the plastics, the hot beverage leaches from the plastics into your system.
Right.
You know,
And there's also this lining. Isn't there a lining inside of the
that's
cup?
right.
Is that plastic?
Well, it has chemicals in it, the same thing. And then another one that's really big that people should pay attention to is cash receipts. They have chemicals on, yeah. So never put them in your mouth while you're folding or whatever. You know, once you've used them, if possible, wash your hands, throw them out. You know, most people don't know that, but it's just little steps that you can take that in time will make a big difference. You know, try to eat as much organic as you can. Sometimes it's cost prohibitive. So substitute, you know, something a little better. But like, for example, what you should really pay attention to is GMO products and food sprayed with glyphosates. And glyphosates is the active ingredient found in Monsanto's Roundup. And so it's sprayed on crops to kill the bugs for a faster yield. So on grains, beans, legumes, flax seeds, yams, tomatoes, they're sprayed with glyphosate. So they absolutely have to be organic.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a better
That's a lot.
choice. I know it's a lot. So, you know, it's all about being educated and decide what you're going to focus on this week. And then next week, add something else, because you can't do everything at once, because you'll be in overwhelm. And your family will think you're really gone south.
No, I'm starting to understand why you focus on baby steps, because it seems like it can easily get overwhelming.
Well, you know, it's just like when you learn to ride a bicycle. First, you're on a tricycle, then you get a bicycle, but it has training wheels on it, and then finally you graduate to a bicycle. So small steps at a time, because you'll give up. You'll go, I can't do this. It's just like it's overwhelming. So make a list.
Mhm.
2 to 3 things this first week, and then add 2 to 3 things maybe the next week, and just gradually till it becomes a
Gradual.
habit for you, so you don't have to think about it.
Gradual. So no more plastic water bottles, no more plastic lids. Those two are out.
That's right. And then,
Good start.
we get our water in plastic bottles, whether it's the big bottles or whether it's just a bottle to take in the car with you. But how were they shipped? And where did they sit? Was the truck hot, sat in the sun all day? Did it sit in the back of the warehouse in heat? So those phthalates leach into the water that we are now drinking that we think is safer.
Oh my. That's right. It gets very hot in warehouses. It gets very hot in the trucks. Unless there's some kind of refrigeration mechanism, then they're going to be definitely leaching into the water.
That's right. I used to teach at Canada's Paramount Holistic School of Nutrition, and very often I had students that worked at nutrition stores and health food stores, and it was unanimous across the board. They said when they got their shipment of supplements or water, very often it sat in the back room for up to a week before it got put away on the shelves. So what was that back room? If the supplement needed refrigeration or if it was too hot and there were water bottles there. So it's just buyer beware.
Absolutely. Buyer beware indeed. And I don't know that we even know what to beware of. And so Tansy Muller has a question and she says, that's fascinating. Do you have an information sheet, Alexi, of some small beginner steps that we can take?
Yeah, actually, if you could just email me, my name Alexi Bracey at Gmail, and I'll gladly send it to you. And the home assessment quiz that you're going to get as one of my gifts will give you a little bit of an idea, but it's generally just your home, whereas I can be more streamline it to baby steps, just a little bit at a time. Be more than happy to do that.
Oh, wow, that's so generous of you.
You know,
Thank you.
another key thing for me was having meaning and purpose in my life. So if the blue zones, which are the communities, that 5 communities on the planet that boast the healthiest, longest living, have meaning and purpose in their life. They get up in the morning, they have something to look forward to. They live in a community. They're maybe handing down traditions to family members or grandchildren. They grow their own food, lots of sunlight, lots of water, but they boast the healthiest, longest living well into their 90s and hundreds. They're doing something right.
Blue
Unfortunately, in
zones.
our society, many people, when they retire, they think, because I live in a cold winter climate, people my age would say, as I was getting older, oh, I'm just going to go to Florida and be a snowbird because it's warmer there. And do what? There's nothing wrong with going to Florida, but you still have so much knowledge, information, guidance to impart to maybe your granddaughter. Maybe you teach her how to make cookies and she becomes a world-class baker, or you take your granddaughter and teach her how to ski and she's an Olympiad. So what gives you meaning and purpose for you to get up in the morning? Maybe it was to finish the Boston Marathon in your age category. So there's just so much things that when you keep your mind sharp and you're learning new skills and using it, even gardening and dancing is really good. You ward off those diseases.
You can ward off diseases through gardening and dancing even? Did I just
Yeah,
hear you say
gardening and
that?
dancing is really good for your brain cells, because it's the coordination, especially ballroom dancing, because it's, you're following the lead of your partner and there's the steps and you don't want to trip and, it's really very powerful,
Fascinating.
Yeah,
I
no,
never.
most people don't know that, but it's just little simple things. It doesn't have to be anything monumental. Like when you die, I say to people, when you die, what are people going to say about you? And you think, well, I was a good father, I was a good husband. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want them to say, oh, they suffered so badly the last 6 years or the last 4 years, and cancer really took their life. It doesn't have to be that way,
No, it doesn't have to. And you have
you
a
know?
lot to share, I'm sure, with everyone about how it really doesn't. And your journey is going to be so inspiring to everyone who's receiving this message from you. All of these people who, I guess, once you get to be in the retirement years, I don't know why. And I know retirees myself, my parents are in the retiree age. They sort of follow that mindset where they're just taking it easy. They're sort of in a little bit more isolation than they used to be. Can you recommend something to people who are newly retired to just keep them
Well, start a
giving
club.
meaning to
Yeah,
their
start
lives?
a club, whether it's a knitting club or a book reading club or a chess club. Get involved somehow in your community. Volunteer at the seniors home or at the animal shelter or at the food bank. Really get involved so you're part of something that not only you look forward to, but the people at the receiving end look forward to having you. And above all, what I really am adamant about is to be grateful. Every morning, get up and be grateful because it changes the frequency of your body, and you want it to keep that cortisol levels down and the feel good hormones elevated. Even in negativity, like with my cancer, um, I'm grateful because it changed the trajectory of my life. And what I learned, I can help many other people along the way. So, like, say like with COVID, with all due respect, people learn that, oh, I don't want to spend 2 hours commuting every day, and I'm away from my family, so I'll get a job closer to home or I'll start my own business. People are complaining that the cost of gas is so expensive, the cost of food is so expensive. Be grateful you have the money to pay for them. You know, I really like to put a smile on people's faces. And so what I do is I approach strangers at the dog park, at the grocery store, at the ATM machine, and I say, can I put a chuckle in your heart? And by that I mean, can I share a joke? Why a joke? Behind every face, there is a story. Maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you lost your job. And so for 2 minutes, I have a captive audience. They laugh out loud. It feeds my soul. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It raises the endorphins, the feel good hormones in your brain, and laughter has been shown to promote longevity. And they may think about it all day and go home and share with a loved one and say, you know what? I met this crazy woman at the dog park. She shared a joke, but it was really good. So just to put a smile on somebody's face because you don't know what's going on in their life. It's
Right.
just so easy. Like, for example, I have 2 dogs. So I'm walking the dogs and people are going, oh, your dog is so beautiful. And I'll say, it runs in the family, just to
Oh
make
my
them laugh.
gosh.
Or they'll say, or they're petting my dogs, and I'll say, if I get on all fours, will you pet me too? It
Oh
just
my
makes them laugh, you know, innocent, but
gosh.
people go, oh, well, that was good. And people for 2 minutes aren't thinking about the negative things in their life.
I absolutely love your approach, your philosophy, and how you incorporate humor into just the day-to-day interactions with other humans. Oh,
Yeah, I even do it to service providers on the phone because you never know who the person before was maybe rude to them. And so
mm,
I'll say at the end of, you know, whomever I'm speaking to, have you got a minute? And then I proceed to tell them a joke. Same thing. And of course they laugh. And the louder they laugh, it feeds my soul. So then I feel good too.
it's like this virtuous loop of laughter and happiness, and all the feel-good hormones getting released.
That's right. I
Oh,
know.
I love it. I love it. And Tansy says, loving this positive philosophy. I just see the time now, Alexi. We're just about coming to a close pretty soon, but before we close, you had something planned. I think there was something else planned that you're offering as a gift to our people here, our attendees, whether it's free VIP, you had something special for both camps. And
Okay.
I want to just give you an opportunity to explain a little bit about what you're offering.
Okay, so the toxic home assessment is to go. It's a questionnaire or a list of things to check off if you have these in your home, because you probably should consider getting rid of them. If you email me, I will gladly, spend 20 minutes or whatever to go over some of them. And then for the VIP, I have an emotional clearing assessment, is because we absorb and have these negative experiences in ourselves. And so through this emotional clearing experience that you go, and it's very non-invasive, it's very relaxing. We get rid of some emotions that are no longer serving you. So, I mean, it's worked miracles in my life and in the clients that I've worked with, because we all have some kind of emotional baggage. We all do. It could be as recent as the neighbor that snapped at you because your dog pooped on the lawn or something, but it could be something back that what your teacher said to you or what your significant other said to you. So it's really something to take into consideration.
My goodness, that sounds like such a powerful session. I hope all the VIPs take advantage of that. I know that you're going to be continuing to give that session away indefinitely, right? So
Yeah.
better go book it as soon as you can, folks. Wow, those are really generous, and I'm sure they can be life-changing as you changed your own life with what
Yeah.
you've been using. And
Okay.
I
If I
love
could
it.
just
So
very quickly,
yes,
leave you with a chuckle in your heart. So a
yes.
lady rushes out of the drugstore and she realizes that she's locked the keys to her car. She clasps her hands together, looks up to the heavenly skies, and she says, God, please send me somebody to unlock the keys to my car. 1 minute, a biker appears, tattoo, skull cap, big beer belly. Hey, lady, you need some help? Oh, please, please, sir, I have these meds for my daughter. She's sick at home, and I locked the keys to my car. Can you open it? Within 3 minutes, the car is unlocked. She clasps her hands one more time, looks up to the skies, and she says, God, thank you so much for sending me such a nice man. The biker overhears. He says, lady, I'm not a nice guy. I just got out of prison for car theft. One more time, with clasped hands, she looks up to the skies and she says, God, thank you so much for sending me a professional.
That's a good one.
There's
And on
always something
that
to be
note,
grateful for.
absolutely. I love it. I love it. Tansy Muller says, many thanks. It's 12:30 a.m. where she is, but this
Yes.
was worth staying up for.
Oh, thank you, Tansy.
Amazing. Alexi, I love how you bring so much light and love and healing into people's lives through laughter and gratitude and just your philosophy overall. It's really uplifting. It's been a real pleasure and honor to have you here and be able to speak with you and hear about your journey and learn so many things that I didn't know about toxins. So I'll be picking up your free gifts too, I believe. So I'm so
For
filled
sure.
with gratitude for you and how you're showing up.
Oh,
And
thank you, because it fills my soul too. So I'm grateful you're grateful. And to the listeners.
yes, it's been such a treat for us all. And I want to remind people before we sign off that we have other talks as well coming up directly after this talk. And you can peruse the schedule and feel free to be even in two at the same time if you're a multitasker. There's some amazing speakers yet to be heard from. And with that, once again, thank you so much. And be well, be safe, stay happy and joyful, and have a great night.
Thank you so much. And may you every day have a peaceful heart.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session of the Voices of Women Summit, where our mission is to raise the voices of hundreds of women so their messages can be heard. For recordings of all sessions, plus an amazing VIP gift bundle, upgrade to VIP now. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, email our support team at support@voicesofwomensummit.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic speaker coming right up.